Hello. So far this week, you guys have learned about goods and services and watched a little video and took a quiz on it. And now I'm going to teach you a little bit more about economics, which is all about your money, and teach you about wants and needs. So I'm going to read this book to you. What do I want? What do I need? That will help you understand a little bit more about the difference between what you really need and what you think you want. So this is called What Do I Want? What Do I Need? And we have our table of contents, so we know this is going to be a nonfiction book with lots of information in it. Money everywhere. People spend money almost every day. They buy food at grocery stores. They buy toys and clothes at shopping malls. Some things people buy are needs. Other things they buy are wants. And down here it says to make good decisions about money, we need to decide whether something is a want or a need. All right, and over here, making good decisions. People need money to buy things that they need and they want. But we don't have an endless supply of money. That means people have to make good decisions on how to spend their money. Almost all of our needs and our wants cost money. What are needs? A need is something that a person must have to be healthy and safe. Our needs include things such as food, fresh air, shelter. What's shelter? Shelter is a place to live safely. Clothing and exercise. Many of our needs cost money, such as food and clothing. A few of our needs do not cost money, such as fresh air and exercise. And this says playing outside with our friends does not cost money. Unfortunately, you can't do it right now, but it doesn't cost money. This is one way to meet our needs for fresh air and exercise. Same need, different ways. People have the same needs, but we may meet them in different ways. For example, all people need shelter. Remember, that's a place to live safely. To meet this need, some families live in apartment buildings, while other families live in houses. We all have the need for food. Some people might choose to meet this by eating at a restaurant, while others might cook their food at home. So it's just different ways how we meet the same needs. What are wants? A want is something we would like to have. Some examples of wants are junk food, video games, and toys. Wants can also be activities such as visiting a zoo or taking guitar lessons. And down here it says people have different wants, but everyone has the same needs. Which things on this page are needs and which are wants? How about visiting the amusement park? Is that a need or that's a want? How about groceries? Is that a want? That's a need. We all need that. Glass of water? Most definitely. We all need that. Clothes? I suppose that's a need, unless, of course, if you live in Hawaii and then you don't need a winter coat. And shelter. There's an example of shelter. That's something we all need. What do you want? Many of our wants cost money, such as going to the movies or getting a new comic book. Some of our wants don't cost money, such as visiting a park or walking your dog. Everyone has different wants because we all want different things. And this says your wants could be the same or different from the wants of your friends and family. Now we're going to talk about knowing the difference between those wants and those needs. I need that. Have you ever said those words? We all have. Sometimes we think we need things when really we just want them. It's normal to want what other people have, but no one can afford to buy everything they want. We have to learn the difference between wants and needs. And this right here says, make sense of it. Get it? They're playing with that word, making sense of it and making sense of it. We need food to survive, but not all kinds of food are needs. We need food that keep us healthy and strong. Look at the list below. Which types of foods are wants and which are needs? Fruits such as apples, oranges, and bananas. Healthy foods, those are always needs. So she's got her apple over here. Ice cream. That's a want. Chocolate bars. That's also a want. What is the difference? It can be hard to tell the difference between wants and needs, especially when we really want something. At school, you might notice a friend's new backpack and wish you had one too. But chances are you already have a backpack of your own and you really don't need a new one. Smart spending. Advertisements, big long word there, advertisements by different companies can make us think we really need something when we really don't. They might show famous people using a product or happy people having fun while using the product. The point of these advertisements is to push us to buy their product. And this says, companies advertise on television, the radio, and internet. You might even see advertisements along streets in big cities. And this picture right here, that is New York Times, the central area in New York. And you can see it's called Times Square. It is covered with advertisements all the time, every surface. This says tough choices. It is important to make smart choices when buying products. We must think about whether we are buying a product because of an advertisement or because we really need it. Sometimes advertisements for popular brands make it seem like their product is better than the rest. But these popular brands also often cost more money. And down here it says, when buying a product, we must decide if the popular brand is worth the extra money or if a cheaper brand that's not as well known is just as good. Usually it is. Wanting more than you need. People can only buy what they can afford or what they can pay for. We do not have an unlimited supply of money. People have to earn money by doing jobs. Then they can spend the money they've earned. And this says, have you ever bought something using money that you've earned? It's a good feeling, isn't it? Making choices. Sometimes people want more than they can afford. When this happens, they need to make choices. You really want to buy a new pair of rollerblades. However, you promised your sister you would pay for half the cost of your dad's present. You really want the rollerblades, but you should save your money for Dad's birthday present. And down here it says, sometimes you have to decide what is more important to spend your money on. Making good choices. People need to make good choices when deciding how to spend their money. They must meet all their needs to survive. When people earn money, they have to spend it on their needs first. Down here, healthy food are a need. Needs first, wants second. It's kind of like work first, then play. If money is left over after paying for needs, people can choose to spend it on wants. Making good choices helps people meet all their needs and get some of their wants. After people have paid for their needs, they might choose to spend their extra money on a new car or a television. Decision making. Making good choices means that you have to decide whether or not it is a good idea to buy something. It can help you think about the pros and cons, or advantages and disadvantages, before making a purchase. And here we have make sense of it. Making a chart can help you look at the pros and cons of buying a want. Look at this chart. Do you think that buying new running shoes would be a good idea? So they made a little chart here of the pros, the advantages, the cons, the disadvantages. And for the pros, my old shoes hurt my feet. And I can afford them because I saved up the money I got for my birthday. And disadvantages, I won't have money left over to buy chocolate milk at lunch this week. Think about it. What would you decide? Before you choose to buy something, think about why you want it. Do you need it? How much money do you have to spend? And how much does it cost? Can you afford to buy it? How much money will you have left over to save or spend on other things? It's a lot of questions to think about. But if you're going to spend your money, you do want to think about it. Spend it wisely. Making a budget. Now, this is a budget for a family, but if you guys get an allowance, you could make your own budget as well. A budget is a plan for using money. It estimates how much money someone has. We talked about that word today, estimate, making a guess. It makes a guess about how much money someone has, how much money they will need to spend for a set period of time. People use budgets to make sure they have enough money to buy the things they need. Budgets help prevent people from overspending their money. Using a budget. Your parents might estimate that they need to spend $300 every month on groceries. They would use a budget to make sure they have $300 available every month to spend on that need. Make sense of it. Imagine you are in charge of your parents' budget. What would you spend your money on first? What things would you buy if you only had money left over? Explain your thinking. And then we've got some suggestions here. Tickets to a show, the house, maybe getting a bigger house, maybe adding on more groceries, more clothes, junk food, a car, or video games. Alrighty. And they have a couple websites if you want to go to. You can see the websites. You can look up some more information. So now that I've read this to you, you may want to listen to it again. But what you are going to do is with the Google Doc, it has the wants and the needs. I want you to identify some of the needs of you and your family, and then identify some wants of yours. You can use words, you can draw pictures, you can draw pictures and label them. Listen to the book again if you need to. Good luck.